Hi, this is Dan Collins, editor-in-chief of Modern Trader Magazine, coming to you live from the Flora CME Group for Traders Exclusive. It's August 11th. We're in the midst of the dog days of summer. And let's talk a little bit about Fed policy because we're coming on a curious stage. Surprised that the Fed did not do anything in June because it was 6 months after its first tightening in December. We had plenty of strong numbers that would have supported, some conflicting numbers. The overall consensus why they weren't able to pull the trigger in June was Brexit. The Brexit vote was just a few days away. Great Britain did vote to leave the EU. It caused a huge sell-off, but the markets returned. Our markets returned and made new highs. Most of the overseas markets have recovered as well. Since then, after the really nasty May unemployment number, which was the other reason or excuse, depending on your point of view, for the Fed not tightening, we've had two very, very strong jobs numbers. The earnings numbers were good. And come September, the next chance they would do it, they could possibly tighten rates. Another good unemployment number, anything but a really, really bad number would really put pressure on the Fed to tighten. Why wouldn't they? Well, I don't know. I think they're on record saying that the election should not have anything to do with it. That remains to be seen. We've been in this period where you can have all the positive news that would push them towards tightening, but one thing can come up. But I think they're out of excuses because if you look what Janet Yellen had said all the way through, that they were in this tightening cycle, they're going to let the numbers decide. The numbers were good. I really don't know how they justify, but Brexit was a big idea, and you had a terrible May jobs number. But come September, if we have a third strong jobs report, it's at the point where if they don't tighten, they have to acknowledge there's been some sort of a policy shift. Because, and we're hearing some of the Fed governors say we need to be patient, which, makes you pull your hair out because they didn't raise rates for 8 years, then they raised in December. I made the argument that, 6 months is a window of patience, and after 6 months, it's a policy shift. I don't know if you could say that again in September, but that would be interesting. But we are hearing signs, different governors speaking and talking about, patience. Some, prior to maybe a couple months ago, there were a lot of people who were sounding hawkish. I think it's a policy to be more open. But in the last couple of months, it's been confusing because everything pointed to them taking action, and they didn't. And you can't say patience because everyone's been more than patient. There has to be a specific reason for not doing something. So unless we have a bad number in the beginning of September, we can expect a rate increase. Problem with that, a lot of the technical measures we're looking at are looking down. Markets have made all-time highs. Big downward moves tend to happen in September and October. September's the worst month. If you go online to futuresmag.com and look at our work by John Rollins, who does cycle oscillators, on several occasions he has September being the start of a significant downturn in the equity indexes. Will this happen? Will the plunge protection team come in and avoid it? I don't know, but if you do have a downturn, if the Fed does move and that does happen, they're going to be blamed for it, regardless of whether it was just a technical move. You also have a historic election where both sides are talking against the TPP. Typically, Republicans and Democrats were for it. I mean, Barack Obama approved this trade deal. Going against trade, some of the things that Donald Trump is saying, some of the things that Hillary Clinton had said can be pushed that way by Bernie Sanders is not good for the markets. If anything hints at moving into a trade war, markets will be sensitive. So as traders, you need to protect all your positions. There is a chance with all the really unusual things going on, especially with positions on trade, to really have a significant move in the market. So any positions should be protected. As we exit the dog days of summer into the heat of this election cycle, it could be very volatile for markets. So protect yourself. And come Fed time in September, they really may have their back against the wall if we have another good jobs number. This has been Dan Collins for Traders Exclusive. See you next time.